Thank you so very much for those readings tonight. We have certainly learned that joy and gratitude are two essential ingredients to any healing, and it is well to be reminded that we keep our joy no matter what. There's always something to be grateful for and to thank God for. I thought it was very beautiful. You read in Miscellany, "Oh, may this hour be prolific, and at this time, and in every heart, may there come this benediction. Thou hast no longer to appeal to human strength, to strive with agony. I am thy deliverer." I had received these readings this afternoon, and I was praying about the service, and I looked these readings up in Miscellany, and they were given by Mrs. Eddy at the address at the annual meeting in June 6, 1899. And I began to work with those thoughts specifically that were from that article in praying for our world right now. The thoughts were so powerful. Mrs. Eddy also goes on to say, divine love will also rebuke and destroy disease and destroy the belief of life and matter. It will waken the dreamer, the sinner dreaming of pleasure and sin, the sick dreaming of suffering matter, the slothful satisfied to sleep and dream. Divine love is our only physician and never loses a case. Now, isn't that most perfect for what's going on right now? Divine love is going to awaken this dreamful sense of this, as I call it, the nameless nothing. Awaken us, awaken everyone to the truth. And the truth is that God is our only physician, and he never loses a case. So after praying in that way, it came strongly that I should go to a book I hadn't looked at for a while called The Christian Healer. And I turned directly to page 193, and I feel it was so God-directed, I just wanted to share it with you. Excuse me, it was 199. And I turned to this, and it said, in June 1899, Mrs. Eddy traveled to Boston to address the annual meeting of the Mother Church. It was just what we were given in those readings tonight. That year it was being held in Tremont Temple because of the large numbers of members attending. Mrs. Eddy told her listeners that the special demand of the hour was the fulfillment of divine love in our lives. It goes on to say, the practical effect of divine love was evident in many ways during this meeting. Take, for example, the transformation of a woman who had no affection for Mrs. Eddy. Another woman in the audience later wrote of this experience, quote, "A friend who had persistently clung to an unreasonable dislike for Mrs. Eddy told me that as Mrs. Eddy was coming down the aisle, she turned and looked into her face, and the resistance melted away completely. Her eyes filled with tears, and after that, she was absolutely loyal to our leader," end quote. And as was usual, when Mrs. Eddy spoke publicly, healings occurred, and one of these was published in the Christian Science Sentinel. Quote, "I awoke on the morning of that day with a sense of suffering so severe that it was a great effort to get up. I could eat no breakfast, and after working, praying an hour, was relieved but by no means free. Ordinarily, I should have thought it was part of wisdom to remain quiet, but so great was the desire to be present at the meeting and hear our leader that I arose, dressed, and went to the temple, feeling that I should hear the needed word of healing and strength from her lips. Nor was I disappointed. While Mrs. Eddy was speaking, the pain lessened, and then I forgot it completely until later during the services. I realized that all sense of discord had vanished. Not only this, but for many months afterwards, I was better and stronger, did better healing work for my patients, and experienced an unusual degree of spiritual and mental freedom." End quote. So I was so grateful for this. I felt like we had a visit with our leader, and her presence and power is with us now. The power of her words, the power of her healing, the power of our textbook, it's all here right now with us. And that healing and that power is the power of God, and it can overturn anything that is not of Him. So I'm so grateful for this meeting tonight, for those readings, for those beautiful testimonies, people demonstrating God's presence and power with us. And God bless you, each and every one.